my lovely friends, it's Margaret, and it is time to match some Taylor Swift songs to some books. No, this is not a repeat of my Julie and the Phantoms matching songs to books tag, although I am matching some songs or some books to some songs, but I'm actually doing the Evermore book tag. It was created by Ramila at starshinebrite on Twitter. I will have the blog post that she wrote linked down below in my description box, so you can check out this fantastic tag. Some of these were really hard to come up with answers for, because if you didn't know, if you haven't listened to Evermore yet, it's kind of a downer, just a little bit, like really atmospheric and aesthetic, but not all that happy. And I'm one of those people that most of my books, happiness. I don't like tragedy. It makes me angry. But I'm here. I have French braided my hair, and I'm ready to do this tag. The first song on the album is Willow, and for that you're supposed to talk about a character that you would follow anywhere. Obviously, like, guys, if you've been on my channel for more than 5 minutes, you know there are 2 answers to that question. Probably more than 2. Will Herondale definitely would follow Will Herondale everywhere. The first 2 answers that come to mind are Annabeth Chase from the Percy Jackson series, because I just love that child and I want to make sure that no harm comes to her. Also, if Annabeth is going in a direction, you should probably also be going in that direction, or at least listening to her if she tells you to run away. Also, would follow Naomi Nagata anywhere. Just anywhere, because she is much smarter than I am. Also, I love her, and like, she's a genius. So, yes. Also would follow her boyfriend for similar reasons, except he's not for the second song on the album, Champagne Problems, you were supposed to talk about a book with dual points of view. I'm going to talk about The Sound of Stars by Alechia Dow. I love this book. Have you been on my channel, again, for more than 5 minutes? You know I love this book. This follows 2 different points of view, though. It follows Elle, who is human, and it follows Morris, who is one of the aliens that has kind of, like, come and conquered Earth, and Elle is kind of not... Ellie's not exactly rebelling against them, but like her little library kind of is a little mini rebellion, because she could get in a lot of trouble if she gets caught passing around stuff from before the aliens came, stuff that reminds humans of being human. I really liked the way the 2 points of view were built in this novel. I thought they both added something to the story. You had Ellie, who was human, who was the one who really had been hurt the most by the aliens, and then you had Morris's point of view to add context to things that Ellie did not necessarily know. I also really, that's a spoiler, but I really liked how we built certain elements of Morris's storyline point of view, how that all played out. For the third song, Gold Rush, you're supposed to talk about an anticipated release for next year. I don't know the dates for any of these, but I am highly looking forward to Makeup Breakup by Lily Manon, also known as Zendaya Manon. She's right there. She's one of my favorite authors. Like, she's on the shelf of books that I put my favorite authors on. So obviously, looking forward to it. Also, looking forward to Leviathan Falls by James S.A. Corey, even though I am worried that this book will break me. There's a chance. I'm just knowing what I know about certain things that happen during or after the 6th book, with timelines and stuff and where the characters are. The little bit I do know, I feel like things could go not well for my faves, but I also might not be mad about it just because of the situation. It's a weird feeling. And then the final book I am looking forward to is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. Mostly I'm just looking forward to it right now because I am rereading Clockwork Princess and remembering how much I love these freaking characters. I love them so freaking much. I love them so much. The fourth song is 'Tis the Damn Season, and for that you're prompted to talk about a book with a small town romance. I'm not sure if this qualifies, but it was the closest I came, and that's Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. I really did like this. There were elements of it that just, I saw them coming, but I hadn't put the, like, I knew something was up with a certain something that was happening in the plot, but I hadn't put all of the pieces together to really, like, realize exactly what was going to happen and what had happened. And I almost hated this book, but I didn't, because the author fixed the things they broke. I appreciate it when authors fix things that they break. It's just, you know, as long as they're not breaking me, we're fine. Look, it was very atmospheric. It was very much, I don't know necessarily that it was a small town, but it is a very, very almost claustrophobic kind of novel because it's just the main character and this group of boys is really all that's going on. They're up in the woods, isolated, like everyone knows everyone. They all know of her and who she is, but they don't really like know her. So just, I don't want to give too much away, so just read it. So Tolerated is the 5th song on the album, and that is to find a book about lost love or a failed relationship. I don't usually have those kinds of books on my shelves. You're lucky, you're lucky, you're lucky. Hold on. Let's talk about The Stars We Steal by Alexa Dunn. This is a retelling of Persuasion, and if you know anything about Persuasion, it is about a relationship that in the past did not work out, and then the two people who were involved in that relationship have to, like, they meet again, and things have changed, and suddenly the girl remembers that she still has feelings for this guy, and it complicates things in a very Austen-y way. I really liked how Alexa Dunn updated it. Kind of, it's Persuasion meets The Bachelor in space. I really liked Leonie as a main character. I thought that she was very, very real and flawed, and she had her issues, and she had made some terrible, she didn't make the best decisions all the time, but she was real. So the 6th song is No Body, No Crime, and that you need to talk about a character who'd get away with murder. Oh, come on, y'all. Who do you think we're going to talk about? Jude Duarte. I almost went with Lila Bard, but she got caught. Jude could kill someone and not get caught doing it. I won't tell you whether or not she does in the course of the book, but she could. And so, we just need to say, read this book. If you haven't read it already, read this series. It is very, very kind of intense and dark. There is a lot of bullying because the two main characters, or Jude and one of the main characters, start out really, really hating each other, but there is a definite shift in their relationship towards the end of the series, and I appreciated that. Also, I'm just a huge fan of rivals / enemies to lovers. And this was like exactly the plot arc I like in rivals / enemies to lovers. Exactly what I wanted. So the 7th song is Happiness. For that, you need a book that makes you suffer, but you find comforting. So I'm going to hold up the 3rd book because I'm reading the 3rd book at the moment, but like the whole series, but I'm talking about the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. This book makes me suffer because I love all of the characters so much. Also really invested in my ship in this series, and my ship just goes through a lot. A lot. But this has one of the most perfect endings I have ever read in a book. It is, I don't know what it is that Cassandra Clare is able to do with both this and City of Glass, but like I just put this book down going, that was literally everything I needed from this book. She hit every single point I needed to be hit for me to be like, that was a good book. Granted, we have a sequel series to this, and I'm happy that we had, that it is happening. I didn't need it though. That was the impressive part for me. I was like, I could leave these characters, I could walk away from this world, and did not need anything further than this final book. So often I'm just like, I want more. Next song number 8 is Dorothea, and for that you need to talk about a nostalgic read. I am going to talk about 2. One of them is from childhood, one of them just makes me happy. The first one is Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Reed. This is about a princess who runs away because she does not want to marry the person that her parents have picked out for her to marry. She doesn't really want to do most of the normal princessy things. She just wants to be herself and fight dragons and things like that. And so she runs off and she volunteers to be a dragon's princess, which basically means she's like a servant for the dragon. And normally dragons kidnap princesses to do this, but she's just like, please, like, fight off the knights. I'm not interested in any of these idiots. Like, my parents just don't understand what I want. The other one is one that I have not reread, but I still love it, and I'm really looking forward to rereading it now that I own several of the volumes, and that is Fullmetal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. This is about a pair of brothers who are trying to find the Philosopher's Stone so that they can restore their bodies back to their original condition because they had a slight accident with alchemy. Ed lost an arm and a leg. Al lost his entire freaking body. All that is left is his soul tied to this suit of armor. And so they're trying to fix this. And I just love this series. Song number 9 is Coney Island. And for that, you need to pick a book with star-crossed lovers. I picked The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't really want to get into too much of it, but it's about Sean and Puck, and they both need to win this race in order to get what they need, but only one of them can win the race. I love this book. Number one, because it has man-eating horses. Mostly, actually, it's because of the just slow burn romance. For something that's only one book long, it's just really nice and like low-key, and it's there, but it's not there, and then you just, yes. Song number 10 is Ivy, underrated favorite, guys. That is a song that crept up, or book that crept up on you, I guess, because the song did creep up on me, but the book that crept up on you. I'm going to say Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga. This is a book in verse. I don't usually adore books in verse. I like them, but poetry is just not my thing. Really? I read this, and it just, like, you're reading it, and you're like, this is good. I enjoy this. Oh, this is a good story. I'm liking this. And then it just slams you with the stuff that happens at the end. And don't get me wrong, it's good. It's wonderful. I love it. But oh man, I was not expecting it to punch me in the gut the way it did. I just, sat in my car and had tears in my eyes. This is about Judah, and she moves from Syria to the United States because of the unrest that is happening in her country. Her mom wants them to be safe, and so they come and stay with family in the United States while everything is happening. And it is just a heart-wrenching book. It's about her trying to learn how to fit in. It's about her dealing with the fact that she doesn't speak English very well and still wanting to try out for her school play. So I just read it, please. Next song is song number 11, Cowboy Like Me, book with cat and mouse games. I'm going to recommend the ultimate cat and mouse book, The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Tirhala. This, I understand why some people didn't enjoy this as much as they could have. I understand that. There's not a lot that happens in the plot, so if you're not invested in the two main characters, you're not going to be as invested in the book. I get that. However, I was invested, so I enjoyed it. But this is basically about two different countries and two different characters, and one of them is the son of this general, and the other one, or not the son, the nephew of this general, and the other one is someone who assassinated the general. And so now the nephew has been tasked with finding the person who assassinated him and learning that things are maybe not how he thought they were. It's got a rebellion in it. I'm all for things that have rebels and are about trying to overthrow power that is corrupt. I'm here for that. Song number 12 is A Long Story Short, and for that you're supposed to pick a book you would never read again, A Painful Experience. Allegiant by Veronica Roth. I never, ever, ever want to touch that book again with a 10-foot pole. It burned me. It hurt me. I am still very angry about the choices that were made by the author, because I think they should not have been made by the author. I just don't think you should do that to your readers. I just don't. Especially, no, thank you. Song number 13 is Margaery, so a book with a beautiful message. I am going to go with The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yu. I know this is a book about two people, and it's about a boy trying to convince a girl that love exists and blah, 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 but that's not the real message. The real message of this book is that you never know how you can touch someone's life, how you can affect them, and I just loved the way that it was structured to really bring home that message. I, again, was almost in tears at the end of this book because it just came together so beautifully. And that last scene, guys. Yeah. The 14th and the second to last song is Closure, a book with a bad rep / a betrayal. So I might be stepping on some people's toes. But I'm going to go with Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. My friends, I knew this book was going to betray me. I didn't have a choice. It was an assigned reading for school. I knew this book was going to betray me because I had read Tess of D'Urberville's, and I hated this even more than I hated Tess. Thomas Hardy has this talent of making you, even though you know how the book is going to end. He has this talent for making you feel like maybe this time, one of his books is going to end well, and then he just takes it all out from underneath you and leaves you just mad at the world because why are people awful? Why can't people have nice things? Anyways, could also talk about Wuthering Heights, because I hate that book too. But like, that one didn't really betray me. I knew I wasn't gonna like that one. Again, a signed reading. And the final song on the album is Evermore, which talk about a book that has a journey of self-discovery. I'm gonna talk about my favorite self-discovery book that I have discovered recently, Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. This is about N, and she ends up discovering a few things about herself, about her family, about her mother. There's a lot of discovery happening in here, but a lot of it is about N coming into her own powers, because there is magic involved in this world. It's about her coming into her own powers and trying to figure those out and realizing that they're not quite what she thought they were. So there was lying involved, and Mom was hiding her stuff from her, and just, it's good. So that is the Evermore book tag. Please, again, go check out Ramila's blog. I will have it linked in the description box. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you enjoyed any of them. What are some of your answers to this tag? If you were interested in doing this tag, I saw a whole bunch of people tagged to do this tag. Most of my friends who are Swifties were tagged to do this tag because we have a lot of mutuals. But if you haven't done this tag and you're interested in doing this tag, go for it. Do it! If you're not feeling conversational today, not up to leaving a comment, go ahead and leave in the comments your favorite emoji. Or if you want to make my brain work, make me think about things, you could also leave the plot of whatever book you are currently reading in emojis. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, check out these other videos that I have on my channel. If you liked this one, you might like some of these as well. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!